Hi there. Welcome to week 29, gardening 2021. Say hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
So, last week on Friday, I tore all three of my right adductor muscles. I tripped on Jane's stroller when we were on a walk, and I fell, and Jane fell in the stroller, didn't you, Jane?
What are we talking about?
We're talking about last Friday. Do you remember last Friday when Daddy fell?
Yeah.
And you fell too, didn't you?
And Mama was sitting down in the grass, and Mama said, "What's wrong?" And when Mama was sitting in the grass.
That's right. Daddy crawled into the grass, and Mama came over and said, "What's wrong?" And what's wrong is that I tore 3 muscles, and I couldn't walk for 4 days. I can still barely walk. It'll probably take months of recovery. I have a bruise from my groin to my knee, from the front to the back. It is disgusting and terrifying. So, needless to say, we didn't do any gardening last week. That's not entirely true. On Sunday, we came out, we hobbled out on a cane, and we harvested, enough Thai chili peppers to get us through our lunches for the week. And we've been watering, but that's it. And this weekend, my wife, Emma, has agreed to help with the gardening, some of the heavy lifting stuff. So we're going to get some gardening done this week. Yesterday, I went to the garden center, which was a terrible mistake. Although I can walk around, it turns out I take much bigger steps when I'm out in the real world. It totally hurt. But I got the guy at the garden center to load up 10 more bags of soil. I got it home. Emma brought it down here to the garden, so it is with us now. And she's going to help me this weekend lifting the pots and stuff because it's Labor Day weekend. This is when I'm supposed to get a lot of the fall planting done. We need to put beets in the ground. We need to transplant our remaining indoor cucumbers and our broccoli and our cauliflower. And we need to get the radishes in the ground. So we have a lot we need to do. We're probably going to harvest the summer carrots because we got a new batch going over there. Might need to do some stuff with the spinach because it's not growing. The seeds aren't growing. I don't know what's up. I think it's been too hot. It cooled off 10 degrees finally this week. It's been in the 90s for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. High to mid 90s. Real feel 106. And all this week it'll be in the low 80s. So it is much nicer. And it is starting to cool off. So I think it's time to start doing some fall stuff. Snow peas as well today. So yeah, a lot to do. My neighbor put all his chicken scratch, combination of the chicken poop and the hemp bedding. So it's self-composting, which is great. He cleaned out the pen and their coop, and he put all that in the compost. I have not had a chance to turn it yet because I've had a bad leg, so we'll try and figure out how to get that turned today, and a bunch of other stuff. But as usual, we'll start with watering and the garden tour, and then harvesting because it's early in the morning and I can get all that done before Emma is ready to help out after lunch. You ready to do some gardening, Jane?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's garden.
Let's garden. So this area here, this fall, I'm going to terrace this. It's on a hill. It's coming down this way. I'm going to terrace this right here and right here. I'm going to put all compost in there. I might terrace all the way around. I haven't quite figured this out. I'm still trying to figure out the retaining wall situation. Maybe I'll call the landscapers actually. But I'm going to fill it up with compost. Get rid of that bush because we don't care about that bush. It's just sort of stock landscaping that came with the house. And this will be an area of gardening is the here because that is the south, and this is full sun. So that is very exciting. So same thing over here. This area coming down. That's our in-law house. That's the driveway up there. That's the south. I'm going to terrace this right here, and I get one big flat bed right there, and that's where I'm going to put a big hoop house next year. So that's very exciting. Hopefully, I was planning on starting the terracing in a week or two, but I think this leg injury is going to be at least a month recovery. But hopefully this fall, over winter, I can get this terracing done. Very exciting. My wife and I worked it all out. We got 2 more birdies beds coming. They will probably go over by the old birdies beds, one at the end over there, maybe a birdies bed here, and then a giant hoop house there, and that's the plan for next year. So that'll be great. This basil, my precious, my most successful basil, I ruined because I moved it. All these basils, this one, and this one, I moved them out to make more room for the carrots there to get them more sun. And it turns out that they were rooting through their grow bags into the ground. And so as soon as I picked them up, the roots pulled out of the ground and it has not recovered. I thought it might. I water it a lot. It's been raining and cooling, but it's not coming back. It's a total bummer. Obviously I have plenty of basil. These are new holy basils. Not new, but newer. These are, some of these are doing okay. There's a bunch that are doing okay up on the porch, but yeah, I'm bummed. That was such a great, successful basil plant, but I think I might cull it. Squirrels are just eating the tomatoes right on the vines. They have no shame. There's this big red one. I thought I had succeeded getting one and I picked it and it was just all eaten. They just eat them right there. This one's okay, but they're gonna eat it before it ripens. These are mostly useless, but it was a great learning experiment. I did it on a lark. I tell you this every week, but I'm very excited because it means I can grow tomatoes in my soil, which means next year over there, hoop house, tomatoes, rows, covered, no squirrels, no failure on the porch, no deer. Should be great. I've learned a lot. So, how's everything in the hoop house going? Let's see. So, this spinach, I think it's too hot. We've been in the 90s. I planted it on the date the Farmer's Almanac said to plant it, but it has not even sprouted. I think it was too hot. It's cooled off now. I'm going to add more seeds to it. Maybe the Farmer's Almanac hasn't accounted for global warming. This is the blueberry that was sad all year. It is starting to grow. Pretty much a wasted year, but at least it's alive. These are the new beans. They're leafing quite nicely, but I see no beans. I just have a ton of leaves. So I don't know what's up with that. Oh, there's some beans. Some beans are growing. Look at that. Ooh, zoom in on those beans. Yeah, we're getting some beans. So that's exciting. I don't know how long I'm supposed to let those grow, but clearly there's only a few so far, so we'll let that keep going. Those are the new carrots. One of my poor wife's chores today is to get those new carrots, bring them out of the hoop house, put them over here, right there, because I got another bell jar and I need that space in the hoop house for things I can't cover. Those are the old beans. They've grown great. I might take them out of the hoop house, but that might be a terrible idea. Then we got a bunch of pepper plants here that are all going great. Yeah, producing peppers. These are pepper plants that I cut back and started again, and they're working great, so I feel good about that. Cucumbers were going great, but they started to get some wilting and dried leaves. I can only assume maybe underwatering in the 90 to 100 degree heat. I've been watering every day, but they are alive, and the stuff up top is doing okay. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the pots, maybe I should have thinned them more. And then, they're doing pretty good in there. Same with the baby watermelon here. It's doing really well. Haven't seen a little watermelon yet, but it is vining quite nicely. These are all the great plants that were sad all year. They have taken off in the hoop house. They really need to get their own hoop house or something. I might build an extension right here just to keep the great plants in for a year. I need to start figuring out how I'm going to overwinter them and things like that. It's a whole thing. But yeah, hoop house is doing well. I'm very successful and happy there. This tomato plant's on its last legs, still getting eaten. Might get rid of that today. Loofahs, doing great. Not producing any loofahs. All 3 of them. Same story with all of them. Lots of vine, spreading everywhere. No loofahs. Kind of sad about that. Covered pepper plant is doing great, or plants doing great. All of these I trimmed back to the stem, and they have regrown. The new ones, the ones that are fully trimmed back, are slower on the peppers, but they're starting. So you see we got some peppers here, which is very exciting. And then the ones I did not trim back and I just netted are doing even better. They're crazy. Those still haven't turned red. There's one in there, a couple back there that have turned red. So that's what I'm gonna do next, is harvest peppers. But yeah, and then this one is doing well too. I realized this bed had been overgrown with weeds. So this week oh my God, it was so painful. It was on a cane, but I pulled all the weeds out. So it's doing good. If I had to say how my experiment, covering the bed did better. But yeah, so let's harvest some peppers. These Johnny's Reds. Johnny's Seeds Red Flame F1 Pepper. They're really starting to produce. I got all those, and it hasn't even made a dent in the number that are still going. So that is very exciting. And these plants are starting to produce too, so we'll have a ton of these peppers over the coming weeks. This is very exciting. And these Thai pepper plants over here have produced really, really well. I cut most of them off that are full grown, but there's lots more to go.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about peppers, Jane.
Hi there, Pepper.
Hi there, peppers.
Hi there, Pepper.
So that's one Brady's bed full. Let's do the next one. That's a pack of peppers that we picked right there. Feeling pretty good about that. Got a bunch of Johnny's Red Flames, tons of Thai chili for my stir-fry lunch. Only one banana. Gonna have to plant more banana peppers next year. And enough shishitos for one nice serving, family-sized serving of shishito peppers stir-fried this week. And some purple Buena Mutata peppers from Baker Creek. So, looking good.
Peppers was this. Banana pepper. Red flame.
Yeah.
Or purple peppers.
Purple peppers.
Peppers. Oh, peppers are red.
Yeah.
Mine's the red peppers. You got in. You're getting lots of that. You got the red peppers.
So when I hurt my leg last week for 4 days, my wife had to do everything for me, and I forgot to tell her to water these. So they are a little bit dried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant them alongside seeds in each pot and see which one does the best. Okay, so our neighbor keeps chickens right there. And I've said he was gonna do this a few times, but he finally did it. He put a ton of the chicken poop and the hemp bedding in here, completely covering by about 6 inches my old compost. So we had to water it heavily, stir it all up with the old compost, and then we added some of the leaf mold compost because I need to slowly add this to that because fall is coming and new leaves are gonna go in here. So the other thing is there's so much more volume. I've watered it a ton. I'm gonna leave the tarp off that for a week to get it really wet. It's a little too dry still. And I'm gonna put the tarp on here because it's getting so many pine needles that it is covering the compost. We're gonna move those pine needles in here. We're gonna tarp this one, leaf mold compost, and leave the regular compost now twice as big with a bunch of chicken poop and hemp bedding to get rained on over the next week or two. Let's finish that up. Okay, my loving wife has collected all the remaining pots from summer planting that now have nothing in it, and she lugged these 10 bags of new dirt from the car down here yesterday, and as you see, she just made a bunch of room in the hoop house by pulling out the carrots. And this is the spinach, but I'm going to replant the spinach, but I have another one of these cages, so these don't need to be in the hoop house because they have their own protection. So we've got a bunch of room in the hoop house now, and we got a bunch of planters, and we got a bunch more cages. So she set me up in my normal planting station here with grow bags, mulch, and a bag of dirt. And I got my seeds. So I'm going to do a bunch of planting, bag by bag. Just set them down here. She'll move them all when I'm done. And every 10 minutes or so, she'll come and get me a new bag of dirt so I don't have to do any heavy lifting on my crippled leg. So let's do it. All right, we got all these seedlings and seeds planted. It's a lot of lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower, Napa cabbage. And over here, we got some radishes, some beets, and I think that's it. 3 beets, one beets. This is beets. I gotta clamp that lid. Radishes, and bunching green Japanese onions. So now I need to replant that spinach because it never planted. So we're gonna do that now, and then Emma's gonna help me with all the other ones. But as I water them down, we're gonna get them into the hoop house. Okay, well, that's all of the stuff here. We can keep peeking there. That's all of the stuff planted today. I really like this sea of cages. It looks very Victorian. Hi. Okay, well, I'm exhausted. I was going to plant the snow peas and harvest these carrots over here. Plant snow peas in this whiskey barrel. But I need to figure out a trellising solution, and I still feel like it's a little too hot. And Farmer's Almanac says I got until October 1st, so I'm going to wait because it's almost 90 today. So that's it for this week. Got a lot done. Hope you are doing all right, and I will see you guys in a week. Thanks for watching.